Hello, everybody. Welcome to another round of Modern. It's Dylan from Alternate Universes, and on the left we have Robert Vaughn playing 4-color Omnath. On the right we have Will Osnack playing Is It Prowess. This was round 5 of our Modern RCQ. You know, our regional championship qualifier that we hosted the last Saturday of February. I've finally been able to catch up and do some commentary. I've been posting the other rounds. I'm sure there's a chance that you've watched them already. And if you haven't, go watch them. They're good rounds. Because RCQs bring out the best competition. But no, honestly, it is really nice watching like higher level competitive Magic with like the people trying and actually trying their hardest to win and all this stuff. It's like really cool. And it's a nice upgrade from like weeklies where while the weekly players are still trying to win, they're not like, I don't know, there's just a little bit more effort, if you know what I mean. So let's talk decks. 4-color Omnath, a deck that I love very, very much. Very fun deck to pilot. Lots of cool stuff you can do with it. You just play the elementals from Modern Horizons 2, Omnath Locus Creation, and then some other cool stuff. Now this was post Phyrexia, All Will Be One. I do not believe Robert was playing any copies of Elesh Norn or Atraxa Grand Unifier. I could be wrong, but I don't have the deck lists anymore, like a dumbass. Or I'd be able to check. But I will say, if you are interested in 4-color and or you play 4-color and are interested in testing those cards, they are a lot better than I initially expected. They're great cards. I definitely recommend playing them. And then Is It Prowess? Will Osnack on that. Will playing aggressive decks usually either plays Burn, Dredge, or some Prowess variation. Currently 3-1, Robert, 3-0-1. Again, this is round 5. This is the match that I lost while looking through the footage. I had started to work on round 6's commentary, and I was like, wait, no, that's wrong. The numbers are the numbers. Alright, so, Robert gonna E-call here. Will punching in for some damage. Got a Monster Spear and a Soul Skirmage. The Prowess deck, if you don't know, Prowess is a keyword that says when you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on, or not actually, it's actually not a +1/+1 counter. This creature gets +1/+1 until the end of the turn. Prowess triggers as many times as you play a non-creature spell, so if you cast 17 Mystery Baubles in a turn, Prowess will trigger 17 times, and Soul Skirmage will get 17, or +17/+17. I would say I don't know how you're casting Mystery Bauble 17 times, but the deck does play Underworld Breach, so there's honestly a chance that you can do so. Just need a lot of cards in graveyard and in deck. Alright. So Robert, search for an Endurance without a Domri's Call. Is going to need to put some stuff up to block out the Prowess creatures. This is a matchup that, and it's similar to the Burn matchup for 4-color, is that you need to survive the early game against your opponent until you can establish and keep a Omnath around. Once you do that, you're typically able to claw your way back into the game and just outvalue your opponent. But the first 3 to 4 turns of the game can be terrifying. Robert's definitely not playing Elesh Norn or Atraxa. He's got Kahira as a companion. He cannot play those cards. They could be in the sideboard, but I doubt it. I think he's just more on the 4-color control version of the deck. I guess we'll see if he presents a Risen Reef at all.
Lava Dart there. Okay.
We see a Lava Dart on the Endurance. 2 Prowess triggers, being Endurance will die here. The Soul Skirmage will stay around. And Robert will take 3 damage from that Monastery Swift Spear. I've referred to the card as Taylor Swift Spear so many times, and that was my initial, what I was going to verbalize was Taylor Swift Spear. That's not actually correct. Robert's hand consists of Boseiju, 3 other lands, a Solitude and Expressive Iteration. So we're going to see the iteration here. Teferi, Time Raveler, Prismatic Ending, and Eldamri's Call. So he probably exiles the ending, puts Teferi in hand, that way he has something to pitch to Well, he could put the Eldamri's Call in hand to try and find the Omnath. on a following turn.
Bottom, exile, hands,
Yep, puts Time Raveler in hand. Okay.
win
Makes sense.
9.
Give some pitch fodder for. Yeah, he's playing for Zadok on the Soul Scar Mage. Okay. I'm not sure if the Teferi or the E-Call is better. They both pitch to Solitude, which is really like their most likely use here, is that Robert is going to have to Solitude something. There's a Sprite Dragon on the board now.
A Lava Dart target.
Will cast Lava Dart from the graveyard, sacrificing a mountain to do so. Pings Robert for 1. Will gets a Prowess trigger and a Sprite Dragon trigger. Sprite Dragon it has Prowess, but it has pseudo Prowess. When you play a non-creature spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and the dragon actually gets counters. So we're going to attack in. There's a mutagenic growth.
You have 1 in hand?
I imagine before the resolution of the triggers, we're going to see Solitude get evoked here. It's still a rough position for Robert. Going to exile Monster Spirit before it gets bigger than 2. So we'll gain 2. And then the dragon will come in for 3. Robert goes to 5. Finds a land. Going to put Kihiro in the hand. Pass the turn. Is kind of dead, but there's really any spell card. Cracks him for 4. Robert goes to 1. Untaps. Omnath has to be the draw, I think. Iteration. And does not find anything that will get him out of this situation. Will be taking game 1 with Is It Prowess. We're going to jump cut in just a second to game 2. One save sideboard. Look at that. They've sideboarded. We've jump cutted. Will's resolving a mulligan. Robert plays a breeding. Oh, God. It's saturated just enough that I can't tell if it's breeding pool or Temple Garden. I want to say it's Temple Garden. Yeah, that's Temple.
So this card prevents Ellie from chasing.
19.
What sort of prevents if a monster has power, turn sideways into the bottom.
Right, fetching a basic island with Flooded Strand here. Will has Dragon's Rage Chandler and Mission's Follow in play.
I will bobble you. Drop the bobble, drop the turn.
Will bobble, see the top card of Robert's deck, gets to draw a card in his upkeep, then draws for turn. Fetches with a Bloodstained Mire. So I know I named the deck Is It Prowess? I wonder if Will is on the Jeskai variant. So in round 1 of the RCQ, we featured a Prowess mirror match. That was initially what I thought was Jeskai versus Is It, but the Is It deck also turned out to be Jeskai. So I don't know if that's like the standard bear, the standard flag bearer right now for the Prowess decks is just to be Jeskai. There's a Sprite Dragon coming in, attacking for 3 total damage. Robert has a Chalice on 1. Could be pretty backbreaking against a deck full of 1 CMC cards. Risen Reef. Trigger. If they land into play, it's a Flooded Strand. I mean, if Robert has a Omnath in hand, he will be able to cast it without having to make his land rough. He's always really where you want to be. Like you want to curve Risen Reef on 3, get the trigger, get the land into play, and then have your Omnath on 4, where you can play a land and get the activated ability, or the triggered ability of Omnath of the landfall.
Sprite Dragon.
Second Sprite Dragon. Alright.
Bull, targeting Wilson Reef, trigger. Yep.
We'll cast a card that gets countered by the Chalice of the Void. We'll get triggers, however.
It does have life. They were pretty smart.
Graveyard that.
Okay.
Combat.
Oh, sorry, that's wrong. Yeah.
Swing for 7.
We'll crack him. We don't really know if he's delirious right now. We will see if he takes 7 damage. Does take 7 damage, so it is delirious.
7.
There's Omnath getting cast here.
I'll draw first.
Trigger. Did he play a land already?
You have 2 cards.
I'm assuming just did not want to go fetch a land, take more damage.
Go. Upkeep. Upkeep.
It's going to pass a turn to Will. Will fetch in Will's upkeep. Go down to 6. Landfall trigger will bring him back up to 10. It's a tapped Zagoth Triumph.
He also loses life to any
I'll go to 15. Mutagenic growth targeting Darcy.
I do 16 before that.
Yeah, you know what, I missed something.
Okay, so 14.
14, yeah. Surveil, trigger.
All good. Okay.
Combat.
Yeah.
Swing 9.
Before blocks.
Cracking in for 9 damage now. And we do know Robert has an endurance.
Gotcha.
Triggers. Endurance here.
Got a trigger from the Risen Reef.
I have mana.
It's 4 mana off the Omnath here. Endurance will shuffle away Will's graveyard. Go to the bottom of his deck.
Move to blocks.
Okay. You're 4, right?
Omnath black blocks the
2.
Dragon's Rage Chandler. Robert takes 6 down to 4.
Second main.
Yeah.
Gigantha.
Yeah.
Gigantha gets put in hand, passes the turn. I'm still not. I'm like never impressed by Gigantha as a card. Like I know the whole thing of if your deck can play a companion, just play the companion anyways. But
Go to 7.
I don't know. I don't know. Gigantha is like the one companion that like gets played nowadays. That I'm just always underwhelmed by. Like, I don't know what you would sideboard in Prowess that is
Using
worth
that
the double
for
pip. Maybe Fury.
Trigger Vision Reef.
Alright, going to get a solid duty.
19. Vision Reef. Draw.
Losing her trigger, draws a card. Cracks in for 5.
5.
Yeah.
12.
Go.
Unstab of that.
11. What do you have me at right now? 7.
It's a tap Sacred Foundry. So it is Jeskai. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Combat.
Yeah.
Swing 3.
Cracks in for 3 damage against the Solitude get evoked here.
Vision Reef.
Prisoner trigger, exiles the Sprite Dragon. Card gets drawn.
Second main. Yep. Play a horse. Go ahead.
Here comes Kahiro.
I'll go to 6. I'll shock the
I
4.
wonder why Rob
Game 4
didn't
go
just,
to 8. And I'll play another solitude.
you know,
19.
flash in the solitude. I mean, he's doing it now, but yeah.
4 to 8.
Thought to come in, going to exile Gigantha, will gain an amount of life equal to Gigantha's power. Doesn't refill trigger, probably drawing a card.
Teferi.
3 mana Teferi Time Raveler. Pluses. Combat's happening.
10.
Robin's going to gain 6 life off of this.
And I gain 6 and 14.
Will take 10, going down to 9. And that will be game 2, going to Robert. We're going to shuffle up and we'll be right back with game 3. When you play against 4-color, and when you're playing 4-color, you really need to know when to concede on either side of the deck, right? Like, there's a lot of positions that 4-color can be in where they just have complete and utter control of the game, and they might not win in a turn or two, but they're going to win the game, right? Like, if your opponent casts Atraxa and puts 6 cards in their hand, and they're like 6 good cards, you should probably concede. They're probably going to take the game. It's probably going to take its time. And notably, that does apply for the 4-color deck as well. If you're playing 4-color and you're in a position where, like, you're behind and it's like, oh, if I draw the Omnath, I can maybe win the game, you should probably just concede anyways and go to the next game to try and win on the play and accelerate the clock, you know, and not wind down the clock, because the clock is really the deck's biggest weakness. The deck just happens to draw. I played it in a RCQ last weekend. In round 1, we drew because, you know, game 1 went 10 minutes longer than it should have, and sometimes it happens. There's a Chalice on 1 here. Things are happening. Things are getting countered. Is that Bolt Resolve or is it just for damage? I'm assuming it's just for damage. I feel like there's no way you play Chalice on 1 and then go, alright, pass. And the opponent goes Lightning Bolt. You go, I'll take it. Now, this could also just be in response to the Chalice of the Void, which I think is actually more likely, based off the way that Will has his hand on his lands here. Yeah, that was the case. Could you imagine that? That's something I would do. Like, Chalice, go. Bolt you. Yeah. Oh, wait. The Manamorphose. Going to get triggers. Surveil trigger first. We're going to name a color. Going to draw cards. Probably red-blue. Chalice of the Void probably put some work in game 2 at, you know, keeping Robert alive. I imagine it's going to do something very similar here.
And I will start targeting you, Surveil.
It's just casting cards to get the triggers here. Does not care that they're getting countered. Probably cares a little bit, but it's going, hey, I know these spells aren't going to resolve, but they're better off in my graveyard and giving me prowess triggers than they are in my hand right
Okay, yeah.
So this is a 4 or 5. And that's a 1 more. I'm at 7.
I didn't even rate that.
There's a leaf. Trigger. Finds a land. Puts it into play.
How are you split the damage up?
I'll go to instant creature land.
Yeah.
There's a Fury hitting round 2.
1, 3.
Going to assign damage.
Respond to Labrador targeting Risen Wraith.
We'll flash back a Levitate and we'll get countered by the Chalice. However, we'll give a Prowess trigger to probably keep. This whisper around. I think there's a chance that Will's debating. I feel like there's another lava dart in the graveyard. I don't know. I just have a memory of a second lava dart at some point.
Doing it for the cameras. Lava dart targeting those
In fact, has second lava dart.
Yeah.
I think trying to find delirium to keep the Chandler alive as well. I think that's the plan. Chandler will die. We're going to resolve our reef trigger. Will has no land to play. Monster's just for attacking him for 1.
Before damage.
Will cast Mutagenic Growth target. Immediately gets Snap Solituded. The CMC of the card is still 1, even though Will paid 2 life for it. I'm 90% sure the CMC with the Mutagenic Growth is still 1, so it would have gotten countered by the Jostle Blade.
People go to 6.
Sam takes 16 damage. No, sorry, take 19 damage. Sorry, 18 damage. Sorry.
But could also just wanted to remove this whisper, right? No Prowess trigger, just doing its thing. Reef is on an 18 turn clock. Will does not find another land.
No target.
Robert is going to fetch Flash out of Solitude, and this will accelerate the clock a good bit. Also just buying him back into the game with the lifelink. Punch my mic, I apologize for that noise, folks.
I'll play a land, I'll get Kahira.
Puts Kahira in the hand, plays Kahira.
6.
Now they have Vigilance, attacking him for 6 total damage, will gain 4 life. Will scoop it up. Robert takes it 2-1 with 4-color Omnath over Is It Prowess. Thank you for watching, folks, and have a great rest of your day.